Renegade Immortal, Chapter 107, Shining Grain. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Books with AR. In the past 3 months, the demonic and orthodox sects had battled each other many times. Whenever either side saw Wang Lin, they would stop fighting and would open up a path. After Wang Lin left, they would continue to battle. After Wang Lin made an offering to his parents, he was no longer confused. He found a cliff, dug a cave, sat down inside, and began to think. First was the spiritual energy in his body. Although his spiritual energy had the power to freeze before, it was far from the power it displayed now. This point confused Wang Lin greatly, and not even C2 could figure out the reason for it. This showed that the Ji, Dao, and Shi realms had disappeared completely from the rank 6 cultivation countries. This spiritual power's sudden increase in strength made Wang Lin a bit more confident. He felt the spiritual energy in his body, and suddenly felt very strange. It seemed there was something extra in his spiritual energy. It was as if there was some mysterious substance inside his spiritual energy, and it was because of this substance that his spiritual energy's power had increased greatly. Before, he didn't notice this because there wasn't much of that substance inside his body, but the amount of that substance had increased. The moment that thought came about, it began to expand uncontrollably. Wang Lin slightly frowned and concentrated on his body as he moved his spiritual energy. He started at his dantian, then through his body, then back to his dantian. As he examined it, Wang Lin gradually found some clues. His spiritual energy was now dark blue. However, that was not the spiritual energy's true color. It was because of some dark blue threads. This dense bulk of threads was the cause of the change in his spiritual energy. Wang Lin waved his right hand and spiritual energy came out. The spiritual energy gathered into a ball of ice, and inside it were countless dark blue threads. After pondering for a while, Wang Lin reached out and grabbed the air with a serious expression. The ball of ice began to shrink. Every time it shrank, large amounts of sweat appeared on Wang Lin's forehead. Just as the ball of ice shrank to 1/3 of its original size, some of the threads collapsed. Then more threads collapsed, as if they couldn't handle the pressure. Wang Lin frowned and sent out another wave of spiritual energy to replace the dark blue threads as he continued to refine. As time passed, Wang Lin had sent out several waves of spiritual energy, but each time, only a small number of the dark blue threads remained. Under the continuous injections of spiritual energy, the rate at which the dark blue threads disappeared couldn't match the speed that Wang Lin was replacing them. Finally, after several hours, the refining was complete. Although Wang Lin was tired, his eyes were shining. The ball of ice had shrunk to the size of a grain of rice, and the color had changed from dark blue to cyan. This cyan grain of ice was composed entirely of dark blue threads. It emitted a dangerous aura. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he grabbed the grain and left the cave. He paused in the air for a while, then quickly flew toward the closest jungle. Standing outside the jungle, he waved his hand and the grain hit a nearby tree. At the same time, there was a faint glow of cyan light, and the tree turned to ice. A dark blue ripple appeared. Wang Lin's expression suddenly changed, and he backed up. In almost the blink of an eye, everything within 300-meter radius turned into a blue world. Within the radius of 300 meters, no matter if it was trees, animals, flowers, insects, or insects that were underground, basically any living thing within 300-meter radius died. Even Wang Lin himself was hit by the blue light. It caused his body to become stiff, as if a wave of cold energy entered his body. It was a good thing that the energy was the same as the spiritual energy in his body. After it was absorbed by him, he recovered his mobility. Filled with uncertainty, he looked at the center of the blast. He wasn't sure if he would still be okay if he had been at the center of that blast. It has to be said that the cyan grain was refined by him using only the dark blue threads in his body. There was nothing like it. Wang Lin muttered himself, "This cyan grain is the best magic treasure I have." After silently standing there for a bit, he turned around and left. After he returned to his cave, he once again invested a lot of time to obtain another cyan grain. Staring at the small grain, Wang Lin sighed and put it away. Making one already took a lot of spiritual energy. It seemed he was a bit too weak after making two. Although the grain was very powerful, producing it took too much spiritual energy. Wang Lin wryly smiled as he took out some spiritual liquid and drank it down to recover. By the time night came, he had recovered 70 to 80% of his spiritual energy. His eyes lit up, and without a word, he started to refine another grain. 3 days later, 3 grains of rice floated before Wang Lin. His expression was very serious. 3 seemed to be his limit. It wasn't that he didn't try to make a fourth one, but every time he tried, one of the earlier 3 would dissipate. After several experiments, Wang Lin gave up on the idea of making the fourth one. After the 3 days of observation, although the grain's power was great, it was still not enough to harm nascent soul cultivators. If he could throw out a dozen of these grains, he would have a chance, but no matter what, Wang Lin could not make the fourth grain. After pondering for a long time, Wang Lin came up with an idea. If he could fuse the 3 into one, then its power would increase for sure, and since he would only have one, then he should be able to make more. Thinking about that, he hesitated for a bit before putting up a few defensive formations with the surrounding rocks. After that, he took out some protection talismans that he had stolen, sat down, then put the 2 grains close to each other. Wang Lin's heart was about to come out of his throat as he prepared to escape at any moment. Slowly, the 2 grains touched. Wang Lin saw an illusion. It was as if time had stopped the moment the 2 grains touched. But shortly after, the 2 grains fused into one without any sound. The new grain had no change other than its color becoming darker. Wang Lin was startled. After pondering for a while, he fused the new grain with the remaining grain. When those 2 grains touched, there was a flash of cyan light. Wang Lin's expression suddenly changed and used one of the few teleports he had left to disappear from the room. The moment he disappeared, the cyan light expanded, and everything within 1 kilometer radius turned into a world of ice. Wang Lin appeared 1 kilometer away. Although he was outside the cyan light, he could still feel the cold enter through his feet. Looking at everything before him, Wang Lin began to ponder. Although he had to waste a teleport, it was worth it. It seemed that fusing 2 grains was the limit. When he tried a third, it would immediately explode. He obviously couldn't use that cave anymore. Wang Lin bitterly smiled as he found another place and dug out a huge cave. Using a few days of time, Wang Lin replenished his supply of grains. He easily controlled them to fuse together and was finally able to create a fourth grain. This confirmed his previous hypothesis that 3 grains was the max, but if they fused into one, then it only counted as one. The third and fourth grains fused together. Later, Wang Lin carefully put the 3 grains into his bag of holding. 2 of them had a darker color than one of them. After sorting out all of the grains, more than a month had passed. It was close to the time that the Jue Ming Valley would open up. Wang Lin sat cross-legged on the ground. After cultivating for a while, he opened his eyes and spat out a green light. The small green sword hummed as it circled around Wang Lin, almost as if it had intelligence. Wang Lin raised his hand, and the sword landed in his palm. He touched the sword and felt the sword's bone-piercing coldness. The small green sword was blood refined by him, so when his spiritual energy changed, it caused the flying sword to also gain G attributes. Just as he was about to use his changed spiritual energy to refine the sword, he suddenly stopped. He immediately noticed more than 100 sword lights flying in his direction. It seemed they were all chasing one person. Wang Lin's face became as cold as ice as he muttered, "It's that person."